never really I think one of my challenges with social media is that because of my nature to spread myself out, I never learn anything deeply and fully. The one thing that I've learned deeply and fully is what I teach and what I help people with. That I feel I've gone very deep with, and I don't see other people having done that. But in terms of social media, I feel it's a little bit, it's a little deep. It's not just superficial. It's a little deeper than that. But I feel like I haven't really dove into these things as much as I feel like would benefit using them. So right now, for instance, I'm now looking at LinkedIn. And is LinkedIn just US or is that European as well?
Oh, it's worldwide. Yeah. So I do quite a lot of training on LinkedIn.
Oh, that's cool. So I've just decided that it's an area that I want to go in more deeply because I feel that more of my clients will be on LinkedIn.
Yes, I think you're right. You're definitely right.
So as much as I have loved Instagram, I think that what's going on is my intuitive sense of this is not really, like I got into it long enough to recognize either I have to change my strategy on it or it's really not where my clients are hanging out.
Well, I will tell you, as from my experience, Instagram, I think people who are really growing a business through Instagram and are getting clients through it are spending a couple of hours a day on it.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, and I don't have the time to do that, nor the inclination, to be quite honest. LinkedIn is definitely, if you want to get business for people who are willing to invest in themselves to learn how to speak, LinkedIn is definitely where you should be. And you can spend a lot less time on it and actually get people connecting with you who are looking to find out how to work with you, as opposed to on some of the other platforms, you might get messages from people saying, oh, I'd like to ask you a question, or could we meet for a coffee? Whereas on LinkedIn, it's more likely to be, and can you tell me how much it would cost to do this? Or could we maybe talk about working together? So it's more...
It's right down to business.
Yes, I think so. Linda. And I think that it would 2 hours a day on Instagram or
2 hours a week on LinkedIn.
Exactly. It's where you spend the time that you're getting the return on investment of your time in terms of business.
Well, I really appreciate you saying that, Louise, because you've just taken a bit of a burden off of my shoulders.
Oh, good. I'm going to connect with you on LinkedIn after this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's great because I was feeling like, I should be spending more time on Instagram. I think this is what happens to a lot of entrepreneurs. We have all these like shoulds that come up that press us to try to do more than we really can. And I don't know, I should just speak for myself, but I'm sure I'm not alone.
You're not alone. And I have become a Facebook and Instagram accredited trainer here in the UK. And what you said about, it's really interesting. The two things you said when I went to my training in Facebook in London, one was, if you're using Facebook for business, you need to learn how to use Facebook advertising. Which you're doing. So I'm pleased you said that. And if you're using Instagram, you have to realize that people go to Instagram because they want inspiration. So you need to be putting out inspiring messages and images and quotes on Instagram to attract people. But definitely what you really need to do is take a step back from all of it and think, where am I going to get my business from? And as an entrepreneur, you can't be on all of these platforms or you're not getting any work done.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I'm going to see you a lot on LinkedIn.
You're seeing me on LinkedIn?
I'm going to see a lot of you on LinkedIn.
Yes. I am excited actually to get to know this. And one of the things that I want to understand more is, so I have my Facebook Live show. I know LinkedIn has video, and I'm just like trying to figure out like what's the best way of doing that and how does it work on LinkedIn. So I haven't figured that out yet. And the other thing is, what's the social etiquette? Like I get a sense of what it's like on Facebook Live or Facebook videos, but because I feel kind of newish to LinkedIn, I don't know what the range of what the genre is like, I guess. Like Snapchat is, I've never been on Snapchat. I think I watched one.
Yeah.
And it's much more kind of like goofy and frivolous, and that's very clear. And I think every social media has a personality.
Yes.
And that doesn't mean that you have to follow all the rules, but it's good to know what they are.
Yes. I think on LinkedIn, people are not messing around. So I think whereas when you do a Facebook Live and, people are joining you and you might kind of, it's more chatty, it's more about community, and you kind of say, oh, hi Louise, how are you today? You wouldn't do that on LinkedIn. You want to have the points that you're going to cover, you want to be clear and concise and friendly. I mean, a year ago, LinkedIn was a very different place. Now it is definitely a lot less formal, but it's still, you're on there because you want to attract business clients and maybe professionals. And then for you, it could be professionals who want help with, being able to speak clearly at their next board meeting, or, they've been asked to speak at a conference and they want help on that. So you have to always put yourself in the shoes of the audience. So it's not what you want to say on these platforms. It's what does your audience want to hear? Mm-hmm. And I think if you look at it that way, then you'll do well. Now, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head how long your video should be on LinkedIn, to be honest. I know on Facebook Live is different, but a video on Facebook usually is less than a minute works. And anyone who's doing Facebook videos, Facebook themselves said, you want to play your video for 3 seconds with the sound off. And if it doesn't attract your attention, then they wouldn't put it on Facebook, which is a good guide. That's why you need to have as well. You need to have text along the bottom of your videos on social media if you can do it. So LinkedIn videos, I'm going to do a little bit of research around how long a video should be for LinkedIn, but really delivering value and thinking about it being more of a business and a professional audience that you're speaking to.
Right. I guess the piece that I don't quite get is, that I haven't figured out, is there are different ways to present a video. One is you can have it in your profile, you can put it in the feed, you can embed it in a blog, like a post. So there seems to be a live feature or a uploaded feature. So it's just like understanding all the different. Here's a little course for you to do.
Yes, I think so. That's good. I'll get on it and I'll share it. I'll tag you on it in LinkedIn.
Okay, sounds good.
Brilliant. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, Linda, so we're coming around to the end of the podcast, and I've been loved talking to you. If you could give one piece of advice to other people who are thinking about starting a business, what would it be?
It would be not to feel like you have to have it figured out right away, but to allow it to be a process, and that you will get clarity by taking action. That sometimes you just aren't going to have all the answers. You may not know exactly the right next step to take, but to, as much as possible, follow your gut and what you find interesting, and just know that you'll pick up all the pieces as you go along eventually, that there's no one path to take. Your path is going to be your path.
Lovely. I love that. Okay, Linda, thank you so much for coming on. If anybody listening wants to know more about you, how do we get in touch with you?
Well, Linda Ugelow is my name across all platforms, including YouTube, by the way. I also host a TV show called Women Inspired. So if you just type my name in Google, you'll find it. I don't know.
I've enjoyed this episode of the Social Bee podcast. Yes, wonderful. Come and join us.
Okay, so that is, I have a guided visualization for
and let's start
confidence.
Creating a buzz about your business.
And you can get that at lindaugelow.com/.
Leave me a review. I'd really appreciate it. See you next time. I will get a link to that in the notes as well for the episode. So that'll be wonderful. Brilliant. Linda, thank you so much for joining me today.
This has been so much fun, Louise. Thank you.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you.